This is Mona Lisa Baseball, Season 3, Episode 2. You want to kick it off with energy?
We're coming in hot.
Hey, I got a bone to pick with you. In fact, I have something resembling almost an entire skeleton, so look out for the sharp ones. It's coming at you.
When I saw your message and you wanted to talk about speed of the game.
I can't wait to talk to you
boy,
about
was I
this.
curious.
Oh, my God.
I mean, because that stuff.
All right. All right, buckle up.
Yeah, grill me, man.
So you keep asking this question, why couldn't they just ask the players to speed up the game?
No, everyone.
Yeah. The umpires, sure. Okay, great.
Players,
yes.
Coaches.
Right.
It's like we understand there's baseball strategy. We understand that when things get frazzled, the defense can slow things down. Yes, we understand that. But you need to understand that we believe we have a crisis. So please, let's just do a few things to speed things up. Umpires, they don't need a minute and a half. Give them 45 seconds. Like, let's do this. Do you have an answer for my question?
Yeah, they tried it. They've been trying to do that for decades. And
really?
Yeah, and it didn't work. And here's why.
How do you know this?
I'll tell you why. The league's been trying to speed up the game. They've been doing all they can. Trust me. They're talking to the managers. They're talking to the umpires. They're talking to the players, okay? They want to speed it up. But here's the problem.
Yeah.
You're asking, why didn't baseball govern itself, right?
Yes.
That requires that every individual in the body works towards the greater good. Okay. But that's not how people work usually. People work usually to benefit, they have a strategy that benefits themselves the most. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, well, we're all going to get paid more if you guys can speed up the game. Well, sure. Okay. I recognize that, but I'm going to get paid a lot more if I hit 3 more home runs by the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel like I'm not comfortable with my glove right now, or I need a little more time, my heart's racing, I'm going to take that time for me. I'm not thinking about the league in that moment. Okay. And when you ask the umpires to enforce these rules, they're like, sure. Okay. Well, but we need a hard limit here, or else we just get yelled at by, they're in an impossible situation. The clock is really for them. That way it's just like, the clock makes it visible to everyone. Cause here's what happens. If it's in the umpire's head, everyone's just yelling. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But if there's a clock, it's like, oh, I look over the clock. He's like, oh, I'm out of time. Well, look at that. And you can't argue. It's just like, there it is. The fans can see it. Can do a replay. We can even disagree. Is the game, better, faster, whatever? We understand that the TV networks want the game to be more predictable amount of time, and they want that time to be a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're at with that, man. I mean, now you have these huge clocks. They're enormous.
Oh, I haven't seen them yet.
Oh, they're...
I'm going to love them,
the size of the wall. Yep. All the way from dirt to net.
Whoa. Analog, right?
Yep. And let me tell you this, man. Listen to other podcasts. I'm watching YouTube shows, and they're calling us kooks, man. They're laughing at us because they're like, this is good for baseball. This is so good for baseball. Jeff Passan, normally, not the worst guy.
I saw a little blurb of him, yeah.
He's just so smug. He's like, you guys don't even know.
I had to turn it off.
You will get used to this. It's good for baseball. But guess what? I never got used to the DH, okay?
Yeah.
I never got used to replay delay. I never got used to roided out sluggers. Never got used to that.
So when I heard him talking, I knew it was important to hear what he was saying because it was exactly what I don't believe. And I literally had to turn it off because it was, I couldn't listen to it.
I couldn't get through the whole thing either. It was sickening.
And so here's what was coming up in my mind. Okay, let's say, what is it? The average game is more or less 3 hours, and now it's 2.5 with this clock. That's roughly what we're dealing with, right?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, roughly like that, yeah.
Okay, so when everyone just keeps saying the same thing, and then you start to believe it, kind of?
Yeah.
So I want to know, outside of television, now I understand this is for television, and there's a lot of money comes from television. Not a good television sport compared to being there. But anyway, that's what's happening. So they've accomplished this goal. They've gone from 3 hours to 2.5. Outside of television, Now what? I want to know, are there fans out there that feel like baseball, they can finally enjoy it? Now that we've trimmed it to 2.5,
right?
Now that we've shaved off the 15% extra time that we didn't like.
Oh yeah, the post-game show is my favorite part of the broadcast. Can we just get to that?
So now what? Now that the people that have bitched and moaned about how lame baseball is, now that they've got it trimmed down, they will be bigger fans, and now there will be the people that couldn't do the 3-hour game but now get to celebrate it at 2.5. I don't buy any of this.
Jefferson, now he's got time to take up cooking. Now he's going home early. He's buying vegetables at the farmer's market. This is great for him.
Is this your dialogue or was this his?
No, this is I'm just goofing on this because it's just for the journalists, right? They have more time. What baseball players like? Oh, well, I want less baseball in my game. You know, and you know what they say? They're like, oh, well, it's the guy, adjusting his gloves. It's that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want games ending on these pitch clock violations. So we got to find something in the middle. I'm not saying they're wrong for wanting the game to be a little faster. I don't know. I don't agree with it, but whatever, I guess. But games ending in action, no fucking way. This is not real baseball.
Well, do you remember an interview with A5 where he said when he stepped out of the box against Nolan Ryan, Nolan stared at him in a way that was like, oh boy, I better get back in the box. That's what I'm talking about here is if it had to be that way and people are readjusting their batting gloves and putting their stupid backhand out to call time when they don't need it and all those mannerisms that clearly aren't necessary for them. They're just doing it to stall. Plunk his ass. For the good of the game. Get in the batter's box.
Yeah.
That's my take. Again, it's self-governing. It's not tricky.
No one's mentioning that. It's only you. I haven't heard anyone talk about that, man. They're laughing at us. They're like, this is good for baseball. You guys are going to love it. You're kooks. And then they follow it up with a segment about an escaped owl from the zoo in a show with baseball in the name. And I'm just like, who's taking this seriously? You guys or us? Who should be laughing at who? Who?
Okay, well, I want to address what you just said. And they're celebrating their victory. Okay. As long as the world still is turning in 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a really good chance to take a look at this. And I think the game will be less popular than ever. Now, that's assuming that things just keep going this direction. And I don't believe that this year will be a huge success. So prediction is next year there will be more new rules.
Yeah, of course.
Baseball will be less like itself. By year 3 or 5, we can examine this. And if I have to eat my hat and baseball is flourishing, great. That's great.
Well, hold on. Let's get something straight. Baseball could in 3 to 5 years, 10 years, 20 years is probably still going to be like making money. It's probably going to still exist. But is it going to be as cool as it was?
No, it can't.
Is it going to be the national fucking pastime like it was?
Go back to your notes and picture Mona Lisa with surgery.
All right. Can we just...
I mean, how would that make you feel?
Can we just do a little nip tuck here? I mean, just a little plump.
She's just not that hot.
The eyelashes...
We can change that.
Men prefer a longer eyelash this day.
Anything to help her out.
Yeah.
Let's do anything to help her out. She's just not that hot.
Just get Photoshop. You just fire it up. It's easy. In fact, you know what? Let's get an AI to do it. just ask AI. Go picture AI generators. I'm sure you've heard of them. And just go, hey, Mona Lisa, but hotter. I guarantee you the result is going to just be something you should hang in the loop.
Yeah. Well, let's also remember that all these shows, it's not in their interest to speak the truth. It's in their interest to grab listeners. And so they can say whatever they want, but I'm a ball player. I love baseball. It can't be better than the real version of it. And they'll just keep tweaking it until until what? It runs into the ground? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that.
Here's what I want to do. I want to take an even deeper dive into this, like, why didn't the game speed up by itself?
All right.
Let's go even deeper.
Deep.
Have you ever heard of the prisoner's dilemma?
I don't know. Let's see. Tell me about it.
Yeah, let me describe the prisoner's dilemma. So let's say you and me, we are at Fenway, okay? And
I love this.
We break in to Fenway and spray paint a giant Mona Lisa baseball logo on the green monster, okay?
Okay.
Now, the cameras facing the field were broken, but there were cameras that saw us coming into the park. Yep. So we get arrested. They find us, blah, yada, yada, whatever. We have lawyers. They explain the situation to us like this. Okay, you and me, A1, A2. You have a couple of options, all right? You can turn on me. You could say like, oh, A2 did it. I was there. We broke in. You guys have proof of that, but he did all the spray paint. I didn't do any of that. It was him. It was all him. Okay.
It's his logo, not mine.
Right. Right. And then your other option is to be like, we didn't do it.
Right.
No, we didn't do it.
That's not me.
Okay. And then my options are the same.
Okay.
I can either go like, yeah, we broke in, but like, I don't know about that spray paint thing. Yeah, I know that's our podcast, but it was somebody else. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I can be like, oh yeah, A1 did it. he's a piece of shit. Okay. So what happens in these outcomes, right? So the lawyer explains to us like this: you're going to do 1 year for breaking in, no matter what. They have you on tape for breaking into Fenway. Okay. You're going to do 1 year no matter what. But if you turn evidence, we'll just commute your sentence and you go free. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you did the spray painting, that's defacing facing property, whatever.
Disrespecting the Commonwealth.
It's Fenway, and you're going to do 10 years.
In Boston.
Or let's just call it 5 years. Let's call it 5 years.
Okay, 5 years.
Yeah.
Man, that logo better be the size and shape of the entire green monster, actually.
It's like, well, they got the scoreboard out there. So what happens is your options are, we can both do 1 year together if we both keep our mouths shut. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or you flip and you try to get 0 time, but your partner is going to do the full 5. And what people end up doing is they both end up flipping, because their worst possible outcome is doing 5 if their partner flips and they don't. Okay.
Right.
So what are we really getting at? We're getting at people making decisions that lead to not the most optimal outcome for them collectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And that's the prisoner's dilemma. And that's what's happening when a pitcher is taking more time to throw a pitch, because he's going to get more money based on, what his stats are that year. Mm-hmm. And if he's in a tough at bat, it's
like, I don't want to rush.
Freaking out. If he's, holding in a fart. Have you ever thought about that? Like, these games are long. We've covered that. Sometimes you're out there and it's like, you got to sneeze, or, you just need a second, right? There's bugs. They get in your eyes. They get in your ears. This is baseball. You're out in nature.
I mean, this makes perfect sense.
Cohen and the Mets.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've discussed it before. I can always say it next time.
Yeah. Let me say this. Paying double, triple what players are worth because of the tax, that money doesn't translate into value into the organization unless they do some like dynastical shit that makes kids, fans for life.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of disagree with that.
He can't turn around and sell the team for more because he's paying the luxury tax for players whose contracts are going to expire by the time the new leadership group comes in anyway. Do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I have a pretty simplistic, different thought of it, but it's kind of this way. If people just simply hear all the money that's getting thrown around, it doesn't matter to someone that has 50 billion that it's like, if you want to own a team and you hear that there's all this money being thrown around, you could almost just like add it in there. And I know that's not very advanced mathematical
okay, let me put
style.
Let me put it this way. Let's put it this way. This guy's going out of pocket for the team, according to all the experts who I listen to, and we should be celebrating that, because that's what we want with our owners. We want our owners to spend money on their team to compete.
Yeah, like take a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's not pretend that he's not taking a hit when pays these amazing fees for players above and beyond what they're even worth because he's paying double for them because of the luxury tax. It's off the charts expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just not very risky to me if you're a billionaire.
Oh, no, I get it. From his personal point of view, yeah, he's fine. He's going to
I paid $100 million. You're like, okay, that's $1 million and I have billions.
Right. But he's one of the few owners out there willing to just lose money, to just throw money.
Right.
And to make his team the best possible team to try to win. Like, he's willing to do that. We should be celebrating that. We shouldn't be in any way like saying, oh, you know, whatever, who cares? You know, it's like, no, this guy's rad. We want all the owners to be like him.
Yeah, I didn't know what he looked like till recently, but seeing a picture of him or hearing his name and hearing what was coming out, I don't think he ever bothered me where other owners have that ability pretty quick.
His voice is okay? You're down with his voice? He didn't have the Verlander.
I haven't heard him speak yet. No, actually, I did hear him speak.
Okay.
It was average. I would say it was as high or low pitch as I was expecting.
I really hate talking about billionaires. I got to say, it's like my least favorite topic. So let's move on.
When I had brought up the idea that a ball player, and now what we're finding out is media members and anyone's link with the sport, everyone's afraid of getting blackballed, stamped out,
canceled.
So remember, you and I talked about the designated hitter where you said the players are for it, and I got really upset because I said that's not.
Yes, you did.
It's not actually what's happening because you're not allowed to say anything or you're against the players.
You're right. Yeah, no, exactly.
And so I don't know how directly linked these are, but the art form was the mode for all these people to cash in, and now they don't need the beauty anymore. They're already in the position to cash in. So they can just throw it all to the wayside. And the media is not going to have a great story to talk about if baseball doesn't do anything and it's not as popular as they want it to be. But the fact that they got some bit of media frenzy wanting to talk about rule changes and all these people are pretty interested in it, that speaks to the money. But hey, that doesn't speak to the art form. And some people will be okay with that, and some people will never be okay with that. I fall with the latter, and it makes me sad because great things are worth saving, I think, and other people will say, you know, whatever, old man, like progress, you know, things move on.
Yeah, but no one's gonna bulldoze the Louvre, you know, to like build a freeway.
I think the thing is, and I don't really know where this stopped, but it seems like at some point dads and sons were doing less baseball together. I've never checked the numbers, but it really feels like there's less people playing Little League and there's less organization around it. And I know for a fact that kids aren't playing it in the street like they did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so because all those things happen and they all kind of snowballed, it can't be as popular as previous times if it's not getting passed down, because it was a very slow moving, you know, it's a pastime. It's a thing that gets passed from one generation to another. So if that's not happening, Sports Center, whatever ESPN channel, is not going to feel the same drive. Like, we need baseball. And they're going to have to react to that because it's a money wheel. And so again, art form loses out. And it's just too bad that people want to pick on people like us, that we're trying to uphold one of the most beautiful things in the world, and we're being made fun of for
They
it.
hate us.
I'm going down with the ship on this one.
Yeah, me too.
If my stance changes, I'm happy to let everyone know, but I don't think you could alter my opinion on what I think the best version of baseball is. I think it's best when it's self-governing, when there's a beautiful venue and fans want to sit in the park and watch that. I think everything else has to follow after that, where the journalists record the game, what happened. They don't get to interject during the game. They're simply there to record what happened. TV is simply there to record what happened. I don't know if we can ever get that back.
No.
But if you are a baseball lover and you look back and those things are evident that that's how it was, you can't help but look at it wistfully and think, boy, did I miss out on something? I think everyone will.
You brought up something in the previous episode that reminded me of something I've done many times now, where I kind of am like, all right, I'm going to watch this game, like I find a reason to get excited. This or that about this guy. I'm like, let's watch him start. He's up against this other guy. This is going to be good. Good pitcher's duel or some other reason to watch a game. I'm into it. And then they get to that on-field interview and it's so cringe. And it's like, it's so bad that I rather go clean the toilet. And I've done that. I think the last time I tried to watch a game, it came on. I'm like, I can't watch this. And I went and I started cleaning my toilet and I never came back. Okay. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's so cool. Don't you want to hear what they're talking about? And I'm like, after the game. Yeah. I want to hear what they have to say after the game. Kidding me?
Yeah, it doesn't interest me 1%. I'm right there with you. I have literally zero interest.
They're split screening. Like there's a guy at bat swinging the bat now, and
I want to watch.
I love how you mock the questions because they do all. I mean, it's not a joke.
They are
actually
that bad.
Do ask, what were you feeling when you rounded second base? It's like, I was feeling like I should go fast. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, brutal. You nailed it, dude. You nailed it. It's like exactly how I feel about that. Whatever. I guess people like it. I don't know. I think people who like produce TV shows are just like, what can we do to like make this more interesting? And they're just like, I know. Let's put a microphone in his jockstrap. That'll be cool. And I know I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I think that the cameras in the bases are pretty rad. So this is, oh my gosh. I mean, what were you thinking when you hit the home run? Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, journalism.
Oh my God.
It's like, no, don't worry, network. I got the ultimate question. We're going to get to the heart of the matter.
Like, why do I hate these so much? Shouldn't we like this as people who like baseball? Be like, oh yeah, well, don't you want to hear what the players have to say? It's like, after that's my response after the game.
Here's what's not working for baseball. It's really hard to match the intensity or the brilliance of October playoff fever. And it used to be okay because it was just the baseball season. And it went all summer and you had all these games. And it was okay if you weren't always tuning in because there was a promise of what was happening in October.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for networks. It always has to be must-see TV. It's like, if it bleeds, it reads. It's all the attention-grabbing stuff. Baseball is so bad at that because you have to sit and wait for the great stuff. That is not going to work for must-see TV.
Let me ask you this. What would you rather have? A month-long tournament or a month-long pennant race? The tournament, you keep expanding that. You turn the pennant race into just something.
Next thing you know, you have an ice cream for breakfast.
I will be shocked. Look, teams already kind of did this last year where you take the NBA approach where you rest your stars.
Yep.
You don't necessarily need to get, the best if you're, somewhere around 2-3 or whatever, however it's working out. You rest your starters even, you extend the rotation, you bring a guy up like, here, soak up some innings, Junior, see what you got, and you wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's taking their cousin to the game for the first time and it's like, oh, why does this suck? It's because neither team is trying, Timmy. Here's some popcorn. It costs $19.
Yeah, that's the biggest crime of all.
Did you hear the San Francisco Stadium has announced proudly that this year they will be serving some $9 beers?
Yeah, okay, I heard this.
The hero of the working man. They're going to sell some beers for $9 as opposed to the regular, $17, $18, $19. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait.
You mean I can get one flat, warm, not even 16-ounce beer for the price for more than a 6-pack?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Offered to you.
Charity. Hold a news conference about it, dude. That's what they did.
Well, there you go.
That's how bad it is in SF, you guys. This is what they're doing to attract a wider audience. They're like, all right, well, let's offer some beer at only 9,000% markup.
Yeah. I don't know how any of this is going to work. I know I don't like it. It's hard to find real. I shouldn't say real. It's not that easy to find baseball fans unless you already know like your friends are baseball fans. That makes it easy, but it's so far from the national pastime. It's in a lull. In previous times, outside of creating the designated hitter, they did things to bring in fans, but they were never dumb enough to change rules.
Softball was once more popular than baseball.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And they had all these crazy leagues and they had all these crazy rules and they pulled all these shenanigans and it all died because it was silly. Baseball is getting silly.
It's getting silly.
It doesn't work well. This has been proven out. We know how this ends.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just keep doing all these gimmicks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gimmicks and baseball has been together for a long time. Changing the rules as a gimmick is a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way riskier than like putting a 3'8" midget up to bat.
Oh, yeah.
Was, whenever that was, the 50s.
Short dwarf people, like, they're not allowed to play Major League Baseball. They had to make a rule.
Right. They made a rule.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that. That's a weird rule.
A toy bat.
It's a very weird rule.
Still a great picture.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because when they draw the box on it, it clearly indicated the box was not accurate.
Oh, yeah. It's for the box.
Let's talk about the box, okay? Because first of all, it's not a box.
Oh.
It's not a box. It's a house-shaped object that's turned over, okay? Mm-hmm. The size of home plate extruded upwards. Okay. It's not a box. They draw it like a box. Some of the channels are actually getting more sophisticated, and they'll actually kind of do a 3D replay after the fact. But here's the thing. Now think about that shape, house shape, pushed over.
Okay.
Curveballs, breaking balls can miss that front of that volume, hit that little back part of it. That's a fucking strike. Didn't go through the box. I have mentioned this before. When you're looking at a 2D representation of a 3D object on television, you're not getting all of the information. The box, it's stupid. So it's not a box.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I know you know this, but like, who are we making fun of here? We're making fun of the guy who's like, it didn't go through the box. It's not a strike. I don't understand this. Change channel. Okay. That's the guy I'm yelling at right now. Not you, the audience.
Yep.
Not you, A1. That guy. And it just seems there's like just so many of these guys, man. There's just so many of these guys, and they're on YouTube. They're in the comments. They got podcasts. They're calling us lame, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, how many of them don't even play baseball? It's like, how would they know any different? The box tells them.
Do you think that you can only...
I don't think that's it for everyone.
Do you have to see the Mona Lisa up close to understand how beautiful it is? Maybe you do.
I haven't seen it yet.
I think if you've never played baseball, like in the street with like 6 kids, because you can do that. Mm-hmm. I don't think you ever realize like how almost perfect this game is, like how a simple set of rules can lead to the most amazing backyard, front yard, schoolyard moments.
All right, I'm ready.
Well, season 3, we're doing this, right?
We need baseball.
I have a lot of energy. I just really want to talk to you, so thanks.
Yeah, and like you're always looking for that time when things are just like flying out of the brain.
I was amped. I was juiced. I was ready to ready to hear it. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Moments of Baseball. Season 3. We're doing this, right?
I started it in my living room and then drove to work with my phone up to my ear.
The fuck did I get myself into? Like,
that speaks to the money, but hey, that doesn't speak to the art form.
We got the second coming here, and you're talking about Noah's flood. I'm like, hold on, get current, bro.
Yeah, I'm going down with the ship on this one.
Yeah, me too.
That's how it should end.